Welcome to the Shreveport Connection. This is Tommy, for those that don't know, don't care. Well, just to give you some wrestling news and about NXT spoilers and results from the 21st of this month, of August. But first, some wrestling news. Happy birthday goes to Vince McMahon. Age 68 years old. He was born August 24th, 1945. Now, if you see a guy who looks like Vince stumbling from bar to bar in search of a free birthday drink, that might be him. WWE executives Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are featured in a TMZ video training inside a boxing ring together for Protein Fight Club Milk Campaign. You can view the footage at TMZ.com. The couple trained with Hector Roca in Gleason's gym. Triple H didn't actually get rave reviews from his trainer. Boxing is not really his sport, as Roca said. Ouch. Ring of Honor wrestler QT Marshall worked a match at WWE NXT TV taping on Thursday, Orlando, Florida. And I'm about to give you the results for that. Marshall worked against Aiden English. The results of that match and full taping spoilers later. Former WWE star Bill Goldberg was among many pro wrestling celebrities who appeared at the Legends of Wrestling night at the Miami Marlins baseball game. After throwing out the first pitch, Goldberg speared the catcher. And you can view the footage. I'll post the video on that. And the video link as well. Thanks to .net member Efren and .net reader Stephen Minihane. Bret Hart, Jimmy Hart, the Nasty Boys, Lenny Poffo, Mr. Anderson, Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, Chavo Guerrero, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Bushwhacker Luke, Lanny Poffo, Coco Beware, Brutus Beefcake, Jim Neidhart, and David Hart Smith were all advertised for the event as well. And here's your NXT results for August 21st, 2013 on Hulu Plus. Yes, you can find the NXT on Hulu Plus. Taped on July 12th at Full Sail University. A great video package recapped their history in NXT between Sami Zayn and Antonio Cesaro, which will accumulate on this show in a 2 out of 3 falls match. The opening video aired, and in the arena, the camera panned down the crowd as Tom Phillips and Alex Riley checked in on commentary. I guess Alex Riley is doing commentary for NXT as well. The Divas title graphic popped up as Bayley made her entrance as the opening contest and her first shot at gold in WWE or NXT. A video recapped last week's awkward backstage exchange where AJ agreed to give Bayley a title match. Champion AJ Lee's music hit, and she gets to the ring with a big pop. Both ladies got full championship introductions in the ring. Match 1, AJ Lee versus Bayley for the WWE Divas Championship. AJ had a tough time reading Bayley as she awkwardly approached for a hug. When she got close enough, AJ whipped her into the mat and went on offense. AJ hit 2 neck breakers and then went to work on Bayley in the corner. AJ settled into a grab it in the middle of the ring. Bayley tried to fight out, but AJ took her down with a hard elbow for a 2 count. Bayley dodged a stinger splash in the corner and then got the hug she was looking for earlier. As she hugged AJ, she repeatedly slammed AJ backwards into the turnbuckle. Funny spot for Bayley's character. Bayley charged and caught AJ in the corner before planting her with a body slam for a 2 count. Bayley ran the ropes and then dropped a knee for 3 consecutive 2 counts. She went up to the second rope and connected with a diving back elbow for yet another near fall on the Divas champion. AJ was slow to get up and holding her mouth, which visibly concerning Bayley. Bayley approached AJ to check on her, but got caught with a spinning back kick to the gut. AJ hit the ropes and connected with a Shining Wizard for the win. And the match took 4 minutes and 30 seconds. After the match, AJ appeared a bit shaken as she clutched her title closely and made her way back up the ramp. Backstage, Tyler Breeze was checking himself out on his phone. A hot young lady walks by and Breeze stopped her. "Hey, do you want to take my picture?" As she began to smile and say yes, he cut her off. Of me? She was disappointed, but agreed anyway. As Breeze prepared himself and got into a blue steel mode, C.J. Parker popped up behind him, making faces and holding up his fingers behind Breeze's head. This is the debut of the former Ring of Honor star. Breeze took his phone back, and when he saw the picture, he got half mad and half started crying. He ran away whining that they're ruining my entire life. Scott Stanford hyped the main event of Cesaro versus Zayn 2 out of 3 falls as they go to commercial. The Divas match was competent, but not remarkable. Both ladies are really in tune with the characters, and this is a good display of that. But in-the-ring work wasn't top-notch. I'm intrigued to see how all this program between Breeze and C.J. Parker shapes itself. Both guys are slightly cartoonish, like the backstage segment, but both have potential as well. Back from the break, the team of Ron Hicks and Michael Zaki were introduced and were already in the ring. The lights cut out and the arena turned blue as the Ascension made their well-produced entrance for a tag team bout. Zero reaction for the duo. The Ascension of Connor O'Brien and Rick Victor versus Ron Hicks and Michael Zaki. O'Brien, the Rat, opened with his rolling headlocks and then forced his knees into the jobber's throat. Rick Victor tagged in and hit a double palm strike before he went to work with chops and uppercuts in the corner. He used a judo takedown and tagged in Conor O'Brien. They hit a double catching hip toss, slam, and a short short time later, hit the running high-low finisher for the win. And the match only took a minute and 30 seconds. Their lighting took effect as they posed in the ring and a replay aired of the slam and rather weak-looking finisher. Scott Stanford then hyped the main event Cesaro and Zayn 2 out of 3 falls again. He also hyped that coming up next week would be the debut of the new and improved C.J. Parker. Commercial break. Same old stuff from the Ascension. Time to step up and actually try to do something with them. Or, as my limey friend Gutteridge would say, abandon the gimmick. Hope isn't all lost. But it's certainly wandering away. Back from the break, Baron Corbin was introduced and was already in the ring. Jimi Hendrix-esque music hits and a psychedelic video wall accompanied the entrance of C.J. Parker, who was billed from the Moonchild commune. He and his dreads danced on the stage, down the ramp, and in the ring like he was the greatest acid trip ever. And we get the third match of the evening, C.J. Parker versus Baron Corbin. Parker's ends carried into the mannerisms during the match. About a minute in, Corbin was in control and working over Parker in the corner. Parker got his boot up and started come back with a clothesline. He charged at Corbin in the corner and hit a running double knee strike. He danced a bit and caught Corbin with a palm thrust before finishing the match with a falling DDT. And the match only took a minute and 40 seconds. Post-match, Renee Young entered the ring for an interview with Parker. She asked where CJ had been, and CJ replied, "It's more like, where haven't I been?" He said he finally found what he's looking for. Renee asked who C.J. Parker was, and he said, "I'm just me. I'm your just you." He said people may call him a hippie. He's just a guy who goes with the flow and has a little fun. Renee had asked him if by fun meant photobombing other wrestlers, but C.J. said that bomb was a little too harsh. He said it was more like video loving. Tyler Breeze's music hits and he storms to the ring. He took the mic and in his best Zoolander voice asked, "Really? Really, CJP?" He blamed CJ for ruining his gorgeous picture. As the picture from earlier popped up on the Tron, CJ said he didn't see anything wrong with that picture, so chillax, hot boy. Breeze condescended CJ and called him a Lenny Kravitz wannabe. He shoved CJ, and then when CJ cocked back to punch Breeze dropped out of the ring and backed up the ramp, and he said CJ has ruined his life every single time, so please stay out of his pictures. A hype video for Dolph Ziggler aired, and Scott Stanford revealed that he would be in action coming up next after commercial break. CJ Parker is fun in the ring, and I honestly don't think his hippie character, Fly, that hard into the face of WWE being PG. I'm really up in the air on the program with Parker and Breeze. On one hand, I really like the dedication to the characters, and I feel like with the right creative and the right intensity, this feud could be more fun and establish both guys. I'm concerned, however, that it will be written in a way that highlights the goofy aspects of the guys involved rather than allowing them to settle into their characters and get comfortable as believable acts. Well, only time will tell. Back from the commercial, Alexander Rusev made his entrance with no video wall and generic symphony music. He was billed from Bulgaria and broke a wooden board with Ziggler written on it over his knee. His gear is a leather version of Samoa Joe's Nation of Violence shorts, and I hate it so much. Dolph Ziggler's music hits to a huge pop, and Ziggler hits the stage, rearing and ready to go. Total case of big fish, small pond, where Ziggler looked and presumably felt like a complete superstar. Match before Ziggler versus Rusev. In his only good line of the night, A-Rye pointed out that since this is Rusev's NXT debut, he's got nothing to lose facing a former world champion. Ziggler shot in for a quick roll-up early, but only gets in one count. Rusev had slight control a short time later, but the showed off and strutted around the ring to a great reaction. They locked up, and Rusev overpowered Ziggler, but Ziggler came right back with a perfect drop kick. He hit the ropes and went for a crossbody, but Rusev caught him and held him against the ropes, where he landed repeated knee strikes to Ziggler's ribs before the referee's 5 count. A short time later, Rusev charged at Ziggler in the corner and hits a hard-running shoulder to continue the work on the midsection. Ziggler counted a rear waistlock with a stunner, then caught Rusev with a stinger splash and a running drop kick for a 2. Ziggler hits the ropes, but Rusev followed closely with a hard body block for a 2 count of his own. Rusev was slow to pick up Ziggler, so Ziggler hits a quick kick to the leg and followed up with a famouser for another 2 count. Ziggler went for the zigzag, but Rusev held onto the ropes and connected with an impressive spinning heel kick for a near fall himself. Rusev then dragged Ziggler into the middle of the ring and went up to the top rope but missed the diving splash. Ziggler nailed the zigzag and scored the pinfall. The match took 6 minutes 20 seconds, and Ziggler celebrated with his win with a good reaction from the crowd. Scott Stanford hyped the main event coming up next as they go to commercial. I think the same match could have fit in with into a 5-minute match, but it was a solid showing. Rusev looked pretty good in his debut with fair share of offense, but working against Ziggler is a pretty huge benefit. I'm interested to see where Rusev will land coming out of this match. Then they show a video package showing the highlights of NXT at SummerSlam Access, and it was hyped that they would air an exclusive inside look on next week's show. Sami Zayn made his entrance to a good reaction and appeared to be in the best shape of his career. Antonio Cesaro was out next, no flag this week, and Cesaro makes his way to the bottom of the ramp. Zayn flipped over the ropes and whipped and wiped Cesaro out at ringside. They brawled briefly before Zayn threw Cesaro back into the ring. Referee Jason Ayers checked where Cesaro got the nod and called for the belt. So we get Sami Zayn versus Antonio Cesaro in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Zayn charges Cesaro in the corner, hits a Yakuza kick, quickly rolls Cesaro up and got the 3 count for fall number 1, and that only took 7 seconds. Cesaro makes it back to his feet, but was quickly knocked to ringside by a clothesline from Zayn. Zayn followed and sent Cesaro crashing into the ring steps. Zayn continued to get the better of Cesaro at ringside and connected with a high-running heel kick for 2 count back in the ring. Zayn mounted Cesaro in the corner and went for 10 punches, but Cesaro countered. The two continued to hold for hold until Zayn surprised Cesaro with a high diving crossbody for another 2 count. Zayn then charged at Cesaro again, but Cesaro dropped him face first into the top turnbuckle and took control of the match. Cesaro wore Zayn down with hip to the corner and locked in a sleeper. Zayn tried to fight out, but Cesaro scooped him legs up and planted Zayn with a powerbomb for another 2 count. Cesaro right back to the sleeper and quailed another attempt at a comeback by Zayn. Cesaro hits a double stop for another 2 count. Cesaro invited Zayn to hit him, and Zayn started to fire back with forearms. Again, however, Cesaro kept the upper hand by dropping Zayn with an over-the-shoulder suplex. Cesaro connected with yet another stomp and then scooped up Zayn for the stalling gut wrench. But Zayn reversed it into a sunset flip for a quick pin attempt. Cesaro charged but missed Zayn in the corner, and Zayn hits the ropes and took Cesaro down with a perfect running hurricanrana for another 2. Cesaro came back with an awesome bridging fall-away suplex for a 2 count of his own. As they go to commercial, after the commercial, Cesaro stalked Zayn and went back to the sleeper. A-Rod continued to ruin things with his commentary. He said Zayn and Cesaro are the same size. Really, A-Rod? Zayn countered out and got a quick 2 count on a roll-up. Zayn fired away at Cesaro and hit the big flapjack dropkick. He charged at Cesaro in the corner, but Cesaro met him mid-ring and hooked in the sleeper again. He cinched it in tight, and Zayn began to fade, so he tapped out before too much damage was done. And Cesaro evens it up at 1 apiece at 8 minutes into the match. Zayn was slow to get back up this time, selling the effects of the sleeper as the crowd chanted, "Let's go, Sammy!" Cesaro charged at Zayn in the corner and nailed a running European uppercut for a good near fall. Zayn rolled out to the apron, but Cesaro followed him up, hung him up, and went to the middle ropes. A-Rod totally ruined the spot by saying he's seen Cesaro do it before when we haven't. Shut up, A-Rod. Cesaro hoisted Zayn up from the apron over into a suplex. Great strength spot. Zayn kicked out before the 3 count, but was in bad shape. Zayn attempted a small package, but again, Cesaro's freak strength was able to deadlift Zayn up and over, where Zayn was able to score another near fall on a roll-up. Zayn connected with another Yakuza kick in the corner, but Cesaro was able to kick out before the 3 count. Both guys were slow to their feet, but Zayn connected with a running Yoshi Tonic for a good near fall. Cesaro rolled to ringside for a resting period, and Zayn did the same in the far corner of the ringside area. He charged towards Cesaro, dove through the bottom and the middle turnbuckles, and drilled Cesaro with a tornado DDT. Vintage generic. Great spot. Cesaro beat the count out and kicked out before the 3 back in the ring. Zayn took the arm of Cesaro, ran up the turnbuckle, and went for a swinging DDT, but Cesaro stopped him mid-swing and powered him up above his head. Cesaro launched Zayn up and caught him coming down with a great, very European uppercut. Zayn was rocked, and Cesaro wasted no time following up with the neutralizer for the pinfall. The total match took 13 minutes 30 seconds. Cesaro celebrated with a lengthy series of replays highlighting the excellent main event. Cesaro was pumped up and got a great response to his "We the People" line. Everyone was standing as Cesaro stood over Zayn as the crowd chanted "Match of the Year" at the 2 competitors. Cesaro kicked dirt at Zayn as the show went off the air. That was the best match of the year, long run of NXT. So in that aspect, it was indeed the match of the year. Both guys are so familiar with each other, and their work together is just incredible to watch. That was just great logic used in the falls, and stories were told within each fall, as well as an overall story to the match. I know they build this as the blow-off, and Zayn will likely move into the NXT title picture, but I really want to see more matches from these 2 down the road. This match is a must-see and must-be on pay-per-view. Want to see it? You should pay for it. One of these darn good matches. As a whole, the show was paced nicely and featured some really exciting things for regular NXT viewers. The characters need to settle, but Tyler Breeze and CJ Parker are a great addition to the roster that was becoming stagnant. AJ Lee and Dolph Ziggler working competitive matches, giving some rub to two NXT up-and-comers, and the Ascension was forgettable in the midst of everything else happening. But a lot of people still like their work a lot. Those things alone make for a good show. And with a main event as stellar as this, I call this, with no due respect to Miz, the most must-see episode of NXT yet. And now for your spoilers for NXT TV for the following month. From Winter Park, Florida at Full Sail University, report by .NET reader Joseph McGurk. Dark match was Mojo Rawley pinning Danny Burch. Episode number 1, backstage the Ascension attacked Corey Graves. Match number 1, Tyler Breeze defeated CJ Parker. Match number 2, Emma defeated Summer Rae. Match number 3, Scott Dawson with Sylvester Leffert defeated Enzo Amore. Dawson got the win after Alexander Rusev interfered on his behalf. It appears as though Rusev is now one of Leffert's guys. Sami Zayn wants a title shot against Bo Dallas. The segment is interrupted by Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger, and we get Swagger attacking Zayn. Match number 4, Adrian Neville over Conor O'Brien. After the match, Rick Victor hits the ring and the Ascension beat down Neville. Corey Graves ran in to make the save, but the babyfaces were overwhelmed by the Underworld duo. And that leads us into episode number 2. Bayley and Charlotte, that's Ric Flair's daughter, defeated Alicia Fox and Oksana. Match number 2, Corey Graves defeated Rick Victor. Match number 3, Alexander Rusev defeated Mason Ryan. Jack Swagger in match number 4 with Zeb Coulter defeated Sami Zayn. Swagger scored the win after Bo Dallas interfered and cost Zayn the match. That sets up episode number 3. First match, Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy won by disqualification over Scott Dawson and Alexander Rusev with Sylvester Leffert. The Hills were disqualified because both men were in the ring for too long. 5 count. Bo Dallas cut an over-the-top condescending promo after that match. And then match number 2, Paige over Sasha Banks. After the match, Sasha turned on Paige, becoming a heel. The artist formerly known as Country Winston Street, who is now known as Xavier Woods in WWE NXT, defeated Leo Kruger in match number 3. And that was your main event. Episode number 4, and the last one of the month, starts out with Sami Zayn defeating Kurt Hawkins. What? They sent Kurt Hawkins to NXT? And Aiden English squashed QT Marshall, the guy coming from Ring of Honor, QT Marshall. Marshall went unannounced as the jobber. He most recently appeared with Ring of Honor on Saturday, August the 17th, at their Manhattan Mayhem show in New York. And then Corey Graves, the match number 3 in your main event, along with Adrian Neville, Xavier Woods, and CJ Parker, defeated the Ascension. So the faces defeated the Ascension, Leo Kruger, and Tyler Breeze. The Hills abandoned Breeze and left him to take the loss. After the match, there was a post-show dark segment featuring Mark Henry defeating Sylvester Lefort to send the crowd home happy. And that ends my NXT report.